This is good to hear. And this is how I would want an intelligent dev studio to remaster maps that didn't have mechanics, that movement mechanics and mantle mechanics that we have now. Because I think it's cool that there are going to be some rooftops you can get on top of that you used to not be able to, or some walls you can climb over now that you weren't able to before. But I still want there to exist some walls that you couldn't mantle over before to still be impossible to mantle over now. I think this is the correct way to handle it on a case-by-case basis.
For ad-free episodes, as well as early access and bonus episodes, check out our Patreon.
Activision devs do not play their own game.
3,000 devs can't figure out how to add a reconnect feature to a AAA title, I guess. I don't know.
Because Infinity Ward doesn't tell their consumers anything.
Maybe that'll take some of the sweats away from Shoot House.
You can cope about that, for sure.
Thanks for tweeting, at least. Thanks for doing more than Infinity Ward has done. They just keep tweeting about the soccer bundles in the store.
Things that are bad. We've got a couple words. Why don't you kick it off, Tanner?
This is going to be a longer section than the first part you guys heard.
Change it, obviously, of course. We are live, boys and girls. Welcome to the Dropshot Call of Duty podcast, episode number 358. My name is Casey, also known as Razinon. Today, I'm joined by Tanner in a t-shirt I've never seen him in before. Is it laundry day, or did you get some new drip? What's going on there?
No, it's just only that girl that stayed with us from Alaska sent us.
Oh, that's cool.
It says Alaska on it. Yeah.
What is it?
A giant moose, I guess.
Like a green?
I don't think it's a bear or anything. I think it's a moose.
It's a radioactive moose, huh?
It's Alaska. Yeah, what is that supposed to be? Is that like topography? Maybe I've never really looked at it. Maybe that's like mountain topography or something.
Yeah, it's topographic as fuck. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you figured it out. You cracked the code.
Me off.
Well, anyways, welcome to the show. Today we have an episode, and I'm pleased to report, by the way, that for this fine afternoon, we have more to discuss than I was anticipating. Quite a bit more, actually, which is really good because, frankly, because the game hasn't changed. So luckily we got some news courtesy of Sledgehmmer. So yeah, that's going to be good, and I'm very excited to get into that. And to most of you listening, if you've been on Twitter, you may have seen a lot of what we're going to talk about today, but we will give you all of it. Make sure you're fully covered. You have full coverage, right? And we're going to upload rather, the correct opinions on these matters into your brains. That is how we're going to do this today, as usual. So anyways, with that said, very excited to get into it. A lot of MW3 news. And before we get started, a couple of quick announcements. Welcome, first and foremost, to our new patrons, our new gold patrons, Chad K, fake name, James R, Infinity Turd, which I quite like, and Master JRG Change It. Our new gold patrons. Welcome, boys and girls. Only $5 a month, ad-free, bonus eps, early access, etc. Thank you very much to all of our new gold patrons, and more importantly, welcome to our new annual gold patron, getting in for the whole year, locking it in, getting a nice discount of, I think, maybe 16%, the most we could do. Cameron R, our new annual gold patron. Welcome aboard, buddy. What they're saying is this is going to be a good year to be a patron because the game is going to be good. That's what they're saying. Is that true? I don't know. We'll see, obviously, and we'll get more into that today, in fact. But Cameron, thank you very much. And most importantly, Robert C has upgraded to Damascus. I put that in the wrong spot, but Robert C going from a platinum patron to a Damascus patron. Robert, we very much appreciate that. Young man, thank you very much. Patreon.com/thedropshot. You guys know the vibes. And thank you all Thank you to our new patrons. Much appreciated.
Thanks, Kings.
Also, what?
Nothing. I said thanks.
Oh. Also, we got a nice, fun, and exciting little offline donation from young Drexler, old as shit, old and dying Drexler. Said, love that you're using AI. Here's some credits to work smarter, not harder. With the 20 United States dollar dono, dude. Drex, drone operator, war criminal, mass murderer of Somali and Yemeni innocent children everywhere. Drexler, thank you and that's a joke, obviously. We love Drexler. Drexler, thank you very much, dude. Much appreciate it. Glad you're enjoying the AI. We got a couple clips still rolling out, actually. Our last YouTube short from our last episode went live today. They're doing okay.
Yeah,
I think they're doing fucking terrible on YouTube anyway. I don't know how they're doing on...
Some big account posted about YouTube Shorts versus TikTok. Who just said it? I don't remember who it was, but I was reading the tweet and he was like, how does this get 5 million on TikTok, but like 20,000 on Shorts? And what all the comments were saying, where they're like, Shorts, it's totally random. Like you will usually not get a bunch of views early. Like TikTok, you get almost all your views in the first couple of days. Shorts, it's like they could go popular months later, it sounds like. So I guess that's kind of good, maybe.
I think that is good for us, depending on the content of the short.
Yeah.
If it's too topical, obviously. But if it's too topical, the algorithm probably doesn't push it. So the ones that probably get a lot of views later on are more evergreen, as they say in the content world. But anyway. Oh yeah, speaking of evergreen, another announcement. I've started a separate list in my phone of phrases I enjoy or words I enjoy tremendously. So if you're a Damascus patron, you can look forward to hearing about that list. I'm adding to it as life goes on, just like the phrases that annoy me list. Guess which one's longer, by the way. But we will discuss that in our behind the scenes episode. I know you guys are very excited to hear all about that. But Drexler, thank you very much, dude, for the donation. Really appreciate it. Very kind of you, not necessary, but very appreciated. Longtime supporter and friend of the pod. Thank you, buddy. Okay, a couple other announcements real quick. First of all, we were on the scope. Many of you were in live chat when we were doing that little guest appearance as our first ever guest appearance. And it went really well. I expected it to go well, and I expected it to be fun. Which is kind of a trend. I did not expect it to go as well as it did. I mean, I had a blast. It was a great time. I did not know there were going to be 2 people from the scope present. So it was a total of 4 people, which I actually thought was a very nice number. I think there was a lot of back and forth. There wasn't really any interrupting or anything. And it was a lot, and there was some disagreement, but it was, friendly, good-hearted, good faith disagreement. It was a lot of fun. And we talked about COD. We talked about X-Defiant. We talked about aim assist. And I think a couple of other things as well, but and Battlefield Warzone, a little bit. Yeah. And I really enjoyed that. So if you guys want to go listen to that, make sure to go to YouTube, type in Crash FPS. And
Crash Games, I think it is.
Crash Games.
Yeah, it's Crash Games. I thought it was FPS, but
okay. Yeah, Crash Games is the channel name. We were on there. And you can also subscribe to his podcast, The Scope, on RSS feeds, wherever you listen to podcasts, just like you can with ours. And that the episode on which we were guests is now live on podcast apps as well. We got a lot of good feedback about that. Some new people from the Scope audience have been listening to our show. So Turbo, shout out to you. And anyone else who may not have commented, if you learned about us from the Scope, then we're glad you're here. How did you enjoy that episode, Tanner?
Yeah, I thought it was dope. We talked about a lot of interesting stuff. Yeah. Yeah, one of the big ones that we didn't really know we were going to get into it, but we don't, there's no point in complaining about aim assist anymore. But we were talking about this one video that was kind of going viral, showing some different things about how that works. I like talking about that with him. I thought that was really interesting. like the close range gunfights, visual recoil in modern COD games, how it makes it very difficult to track people, the iron sight bounce, all of it just really, really shit. So we're talking about that, and kind of hoping going forward in like MW3 that changes. Because still, like I saw a Twitter clip this morning of MW19. I'm like, man, really took for granted how that game. Well, it's not that I took for granted. It was the normal thing. Like gunfights that didn't have so much visual screen shake. It is. Like, you guys are just so used to it now because you've been playing Warzone 2 and MW2 this whole year now. Just go back and watch an MW19 clip of someone shooting a gun for 3 seconds, and you'll be like, oh my god, his screen doesn't shake all over the place. It's crazy. So hopefully we get back to that MW3. But it was cool talking about all that with him. Talking about Tarkov, Exafight. Yeah, we actually talked about Exafight a lot. Our thoughts on that. Yeah, we did.
That was like our first big topic, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys should check it out. It's a good time.
Yeah, it was a really good time. So yeah, if you wanted to do that, this podcast is called The Scope. You can find it on apps, or you can find it on YouTube at Crash Games. And if you're listening, Crash, at some point, thank you, buddy. And it was really fun having you on, or being on your show rather. And maybe we'll have him on at some point soon too.
Yeah, people were saying that in chat that we should do that, or in Discord or something. Yeah. Also, you should just sub to him because he makes really interesting videos. Like he uploads just gaming videos in general, talking about Battlefield, whatever is like happening at the time, MW3, and his videos are really well done. So either way, if you don't care to listen to the pod with us on, he makes really good videos. So check him out.
Yeah. So. Last announcement is we have decided, if you see the schedule, you already know this, but follow us on Twitter at the Dropshot Pod. We've decided for Saturday's episode, we are going to do World Series of Warzone. So in the schedule, we've written down 12 p.m. Pacific, which is our normal starting time. However, maybe we should have put an asterisk in there. If the tournament is like pretty close to being over at that time, we are going to wait a little while until the tournament's done. Oh, no, we're not. We're going to do a watch party.
No, we're just going to go live either way. And if it was still going on, we were going to watch it for a little bit. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So if you wanted to, okay, that's what we decided. We're going to go live at 12 p.m. Pacific on Saturday. If the tournament's still going on, we're just going to watch it together live until it's over. And then we're going to start the podcast. If it's already over by then we're just going to start the podcast, obviously. The only way this doesn't happen is if they are running so far behind that we would have to wait another 3 hours to start the podcast, which we're not doing.
Which could happen.
In that case, which could happen, yes. In that case, we're just going to go live at 12 anyway, and figure something out. But hopefully that doesn't happen. But yeah, that's going to be really fun either way. And I'm very excited for that episode. We don't really have a plan for Saturday other than to talk about the World Series of Warzone. I don't exactly have an agenda. I can tell you what I'm hoping for, though. I do have hopes. I hope every ending is in the water to illustrate how dumb Infinity Ward is. I hope people with pistols shooting underwater that you can't see get the win so that we can expose how dumb Infinity Ward is. I hope a precision airstrike ruins a team's chances of winning unfairly and kills them through a wall and or without a notification because it would expose how dumb Infinity Ward is. And last and certainly not least, more than anything, more than I hope for the end of world hunger, I hope that the winners of this tournament are 3 people no one's ever fucking heard of. And the reason they win is because they are obviously cheating. That's what I hope for more than anything.
That would be a banger.
That would be fucking fantastic. And you might be thinking, hey, that's kind of shitty, Raz, because that means legit players have been deprived of the prize pool. Yeah.
It sucks for them. It does, but.
Yeah, that sucks. Yeah. Don't care that much, though. Like, look, if Aiden gets fucked out of first place because there are cheaters in his lobby, instead of being a multimillionaire, he'll be a multimillionaire. Okay. I'm fine with it. I'd rather Infinity Ward get just completely dragged through the mud online than legit players win. Hey, and maybe that makes me an asshole. It kind of does, actually, but I still want it more than anything. So those are the things I'm hoping for. Whether or not any of them will come to pass, I don't know. But the goal for Saturday, is just going to be to discuss World Series of Warzone, whatever really comes to mind after having watched it. And it's going to be fun. No matter what happens. Because there's also on the other end of the spectrum, there aren't dog shit circles. There's a lot of cool outplays, and there are a lot of like fun and engaging gunfights that are exciting to watch, and the best team actually wins. That's possible too, and that would also be interesting, and I would want that as well. So like pretty much no matter what happens, we're going to win as far as I'm concerned. And I'm very excited for that episode. So that's going to happen Saturday at the normal time, most likely.
Yeah, there are for sure going to be some like game-breaking bugs that ruin someone's day or something. Yeah, we'll talk about more at the end of this episode. I put some stuff in there, so.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
If you're listening for the jingle, here it is. Jakin with the 2-month sub on kick.com/the Dropshot podcast. Thank you very much, Jakin. Very appreciated. And he's doing it on the right website, too. It's where we get 95% of the money. So if it's between a YouTube membership or a Kick sub for you, do it on Kick. Do it on both. That's obviously the best thing to do. But thank you very much, Jacob. Much appreciated. All right, today, an episode on Call of Duty. First section, patch notes, changes already in effect. Shocker, almost nothing. On the 8th, Call of Duty updates, at COD updates, tweeted that they have released an update that fixed unlocking Akimbo for the new pistols. I don't know if this is true or not. I don't care. I'm waiting for MW3. Do you know anything about this? Is this a fake fix or a real fix?
I think it's real. Yeah, I think it's
Okay.
real. I didn't hear anything else aside from that. I don't care.
Yeah,
I'm never
I
gonna
haven't heard
unlock
anything
it.
else aside from that either, which implies to me, even in Akimbo, these pistols aren't very good. I could be wrong. Haven't played COD in a minute. But I have been watching streams, and at least in ranked Moz, no one's using these. Oh, Akimbo's banned in ranked, isn't it?
Yes. Probably not for these guns. It's probably got past the restriction because they didn't think about it.
Maybe the gun itself.
Well, was it
is
banned for all of
ranked,
them? No, that
I don't
gun wouldn't be
remember,
banned.
actually.
I
Yeah,
think it's just
I don't
certain
know.
guns have Akimbo banned, wasn't it? I don't remember. Doesn't matter. No one
haven't
runs them. None of the
seen-
Akimbo pistols are good anymore.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't seen these pistols or heard about them at all. So I'm guessing they're just dog shit. So who cares? But yeah, that's as far as I saw. That is all they've changed about this game in the last week, which is woefully unsurprising. But luckily, there's a lot of news to talk about with MW3. So let's just get right into that, because that's where it gets fun and exciting. Yesterday, Charlie Intel tweeted, breaking! New MW3 Intel drop showcasing the multiplayer maps and some multiplayer gameplay. And they were tweeting, of course, about a blog post, which I'm, again, very excited and surprised to see this early that we're getting a blog post about MW3. And this was released likewise yesterday. Intel drop, modernizing COD, MW2 2009 maps in 2023's COD MW Roman numeral 3 multiplayer.
That was,
Giant
even
block.
without you adding on that bullshit, that is not a great sentence to read. Modernizing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 2009 maps in 2023's Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer. That's a handful. That's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
A lot going on
And
there.
I don't love it.
You don't love it, yeah.
It makes our job very annoying because we can't just say MW2, like, you know, because it's like that could mean fucking 4 different things
Modern Warfare
now.
2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2.
Yeah. So anyway, all right. So they write a couple words. Don't care. Okay. MW3 multiplayer history modernized. What's your favorite COD multiplayer map? As COD nears its 20th anniversary, veteran fans could have over 100 potential answers to that question. Let's hold on. No, they couldn't. They could have 20 potential answers. Don't say 100. No one's favorite map is fucking Arsenal Sandstorm. That person doesn't exist. So let's settle down. But anyway, yeah, they write more words. I don't care.
Yeah, we don't care. We're looking at the pictures here. That's all we care about.
Yeah. So yeah, we're going to read some text, but only important text. So interspersed in this blog post, for those of you listening, are a lot of pictures that we're going to talk about. And there's also a video that we're going to listen to and talk about as well. I've already written some notes on the video of important things they went over. We'll get more into those, but we'll let you guys listen to the full video for context in case you haven't. But we'll talk more about that when we get there. So first we have an image here of Terminal remastered for MW3. 2023, 333. So this is a picture of Terminal.
Oh, it's the Terminal, yeah.
And it looks exactly like I remember it, but modernized.
Yeah, that's going to be the trend with all these pictures we look at. There's not much to say because all it looks like is the exact same map, but more colorful. That's the number one thing, is when you look at old Call of Duties like that, there was zero color to any of them. It was all brown, tan, gray, ugly. For the most part, they've added a lot of color. That's the biggest thing here. A lot of blues popping in this image here. So it's Terminal.
The depth of the color is a lot better now with modern graphics too. Yeah, like even if the same color scheme,
it's
in
like
this
they modernized
screenshot
the maps. Yeah,
was used in 2009. The vibrancy and saturation of the blue wouldn't be as good. And you can see the banners, the blue goes from dark on the left when it's in the shade to really light on the right when it's in the sun.
Look at that.
It would all be the same shade in 2009.
Wonder where those flights are going. They've got arrivals, departures up there. Wonder where they're all going.
Yeah, instead of just white dots, it's going to actually be legible writing now. Yeah. Especially when I render it with my supercomputer in stunning crystal clear 1440p clarity at 240 hertz.
I hope one of those flies over Santa Monica and has engine failure. Just happens to crash.
What's in Santa Monica?
Studio, I think.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's right. Yeah. One thing I'd like to point out, by the way, and we'll get more into this as well. You see that ladder to the left of the escalator? There existed that ladder in the original Terminal as well. Very popular ladder. The reason I point that out is because, as we are going to talk more about and learn, they have stayed very true to, at least what they say is, they've stayed very true to the original maps in terms of the layout and ladders, and if there were stairs here before, there's stairs there now. If there was a ladder here before, there's a ladder here now, etc. So
yeah, I don't think they're making any actual map changes like that. Like we saw in MW 2019's Crash, they added a little area onto the map. They made a couple of changes to Crash. So it's some people were mad about that. It really didn't change the map at all, but just basically, I think what we're getting this year is the same exact layout, pretty much. Everything is right where it used to be. Maybe some extra clutter in a couple spots, but it's not like Terminal's going to have, to the right here where the edge of the map would be off screen. It's not like there's going to be a whole other Terminal there now that we didn't have before.
Correct.
It's going to be the same layout.
Another example you could use is MW 2019 Shipment. That was not a faithful recreation of the original Shipment. They changed the orientation of sea cans.
Yeah,
it
how they
completely changed how the map played.
Yeah.
That, as far as they've said, and as far as we can see, they are not getting that wild with these maps. But anyway, there's a picture of Terminal. Moving on is video. So we are going to play this video. We're going to listen to it. and then we are going to talk a little bit more about it.
Yeah, I'm just going to play it, but we're not showing it. Raz thinks we may get like a copyright strike, so we'll play it, and I'll just show this image. So let me make sure the volume's good.
For multiplayer in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, we wanted to give the player a new way to experience these classic maps. When we told the art team, we're going to be making these maps, they lit up. They were like calling dibs on which ones they wanted to go get reference for.
Maps really come through. They feel like they felt back then. And when you're playing High Rise, when you're playing Estate, you feel really transported back. We questioned a lot of what was good about the movement of older games, what was good about the gunplay of older games, and the same with the newer games. So we tried to marry a lot of those things together.
The way we approach it is that, how are we going to make these the best versions of those maps that people have ever played? Because that's what we wanted. That's what we want as fans.
There are places where the metrics of the level are adjusted to fit more modern gameplay, but for the most part, it's going to feel incredibly similar. The biggest changes are really in a fidelity sense. Places like Afghan, where it might have been difficult to see somebody in some of those circumstances, we have new tools to make that both look better, but also read better so that your target acquisition is improved.
Favela's a map where it really pushed our opportunities to explore what you couldn't do in the old one and what you can do now. From an artistic side, the map has more detail than I think any other map. In High Rise, it's fun to explore and jump on the scaffolding and mantle to places that you weren't able to actually grab or reach before. Now you can get there.
When it was a question of whether it should be like the original or whether it should be more modern in terms of the metrics, we went with the original. And we pushed very hard to make sure that that experience was as close to the original as we possibly could while we modernized the look of the map.
I've seen people play it for the first time and they don't really know what they're going to see. And when that load screen shows up for Favela or for Quarry, you see them light up like, oh my gosh, these are the maps that I've been hoping they would remake.
The whole team here is super excited to bring all of these maps to fans everywhere.
And that's it. I don't know if we started at the same time, but
that's it.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, they write a lot of words underneath it, and they're just reiterating a couple things. So I pulled out 4 interesting little tidbits on that video that I want to talk more about. A couple of these aren't verbatim quotes. Some of them are, but they're essentially what they said. You guys just listened, so if you think I misinterpreted something, tell me, but I didn't. One thing they said, map metrics are adjusted to fit modern gameplay, but will feel mostly similar to the original maps. When they said that, by the way, in the video, they were showing like their map editor guy making a tunnel more narrow, which I thought was weird. Could be a coincidence. Could be that they think the width of a tunnel needed to be updated for modernity. Kind of bizarre, and I wasn't really sure what to think of that, but I think it was probably just a coincidence. I think they just wanted to show some B-roll of a map editor in general.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But map metrics adjusted to fit modern gameplay is interesting to me. And what they mean by that is like the heights of a wall or a ledge or something, for example. So as we're going to talk about in a second here, there are going to be things that you can vault or mantle or ledge hang onto or climb over that you were not able to do in MW 2009. And so what I think they mean by this is there are some walls you couldn't climb over before that you're going to be able to climb over now, since there now exists a mantling mechanic that like didn't exist before.
Yeah, they like a jump before or something to get over a wall. Yeah.
Yeah, you had to like jump on top of some other thing so that so that you could just clear it with a jump rather than actually grabbing with your hands. However, I think they're saying some things that some walls, for example, that you couldn't jump over before, if we just let you mantle, you would be able to jump over it now, but that wall shouldn't be jump overable. So we just made the wall higher so that you can't anymore. I think that's what they mean by metrics are adjusted to fit modern gameplay.
That makes sense, because that could completely ruin the flow of a map.
Exactly.
If there's a certain amount of lanes, but really you can just jump over a bunch of walls or something around
that you
it.
couldn't before.
Yeah,
exactly.
it makes it a lot less predictable. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's what they mean by metrics being adjusted to fit modern gameplay. And by the way, I will add, this is good to hear. This is good to hear. And this is how I would want an intelligent dev studio to remaster maps that didn't have mechanics, that movement mechanics and mantle mechanics that we have now. Because I think it's cool that there are going to be some rooftops you can get on top of that you used to not be able to, or some walls you used to be able to, you can climb over now that you weren't able to before. But I still want there to exist some walls that you couldn't mantle over before to still be impossible to mantle over now. I think this is the correct way to handle it on a case by case basis. So that was heartening to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, that was good to hear for sure. I don't really have anything else to add.
So another thing they said, visibility specifically is improved. That was something they talked about for like 15 or 20 seconds. Like, oh yeah, there were parts of Afghan, for example, where it was hard to see enemies if they were in there. But now that we can like modernize the maps, we are going to both make the maps look better, like more visually appealing, obviously, but also eliminate those areas, or at least massage them into being better. So if there did exist some spot in 2009 on Afghan where if you were standing there, enemies just couldn't see you because it was too dark, they are saying it won't be too dark there anymore and you'll be able to see people.
Yeah.
Whether or not I believe them is a separate question.
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a separate
Why
question.
didn't iDub have those same tools in 2019? It's a brand new dev tool they just came out with, being able to see people.
Yeah, it's a great question.
The new fresh thing, yeah.
I will say though, you know what? Sledgehmmer has a lot of problems as a dev studio. One thing I don't think I have ever complained about with Sledgehmmer, and this is with an asterisk, is visibility of enemies. Now, there was the sun glare in Vanguard, and the muzzle smoke, and the muzzle flash, and the incendiary grenades, which did impact my visibility. I will grant you all of those things. But they patched most of that shit out, minus the fire. And afterward, after like the muzzle smoke was like nerfed and shit, and the muzzle flash was nerfed, visibility in Sledgehmmer games is generally pretty fucking good. Like if there's not if the sun isn't in my eyes and they fix the muzzle smoke, I can usually see someone I should be able to see in a Sledgehmmer game. So I actually do kind of believe them on this.
Yeah, but also like as you're saying all that, like they obviously show that they've added numerous things that then ruin the visibility. So it really goes to show that they don't really mean that. But yeah, I like that they talked about it. It does, like with a lot of things this year, when they talk about movement, they talked about the gunplay. It does sound like they're on the right track. It just comes down to if they deliver on that. It sounds like they know what a lot of players want, but yeah, we'll just see if they actually truly do it correctly or not.
Yeah, that's a great
point.
They're
acting like they care.
Just like the movement changes or mechanics that they've been talking about, it's very obvious that Sledgehmmer at least has their finger on the pulse, which is more than can be said for Infinity Ward, to be fair. But knowing the problem is half the battle. Actually addressing the problems and delivering is the more important half of the battle. So at least we've gotten through the first half, though. They had me in the first half. Let's see if they have me in the second. I'm not going to lie. So anyway, visibility improved. Another thing they said, this is less interesting, but I wanted to write it down anyway. Favela has more detail than any other map, and you'll be able to do things you couldn't do before. I thought they might be talking about the fact that Hardpoint exists, for example, Because I know they love talking about Favela Hardpoint. They've talked about it every fucking time they've talked. Since Hardpoint wasn't a mode in 2009, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Favela is a great map, and I'm curious to see what more detail than any other means.
Yeah, I think it kind of shows in the blog post screenshot we'll see. It just looks more alive, I guess you could say. More stuff on the walls, maybe. Like, actually make it feel like you're in a favela. Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of just in a video game. I think it's just that, yeah. Looks nice for sure, everything they showed.
One thing that worries me about a lot of detail could potentially mean a lot of visual clutter, and it could also potentially mean bad performance for you peasants. It won't matter for me. I'm going to have insane frames no matter what. And it could potentially mean bullshit audio occlusion problems, which we've been seeing this year too. So I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried, but not that much. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it just sounds like it's a bug they can't figure out this year, honestly, or don't try to figure out with the audio occlusion.
Yeah. So, and then last point, which I guess we kind of already talked about, they were like, yeah, on high rise, you'll be able to mantle to places you were never able to before. So that was one question Tanner and I had. And I think we did talk about this on the scope a little bit. Like, now that there's going to be mantling when there wasn't in 2009, are you going to be able to get on rooftops or like walls or whatever that you couldn't before? We all kind of disagreed on that, and it looks like the answer is yes, you will be able to. But that's why they said map metrics, some of them are adjusted to fit modern gameplay. As long as they're cognizant of that, like, hey, some walls, even if they're short enough, you shouldn't be allowed to mantle. We're just going to make it taller. If they're cognizant of that when they are remastering these maps, then I'm okay with this. And I think it's actually pretty cool. It'll be interesting to see how different a state is than it used to be, because there are going to be more places your character can be than before. I think that's okay.
Yeah, jumping
if it's
windows,
done well.
Mantle, yeah.
Yeah, getting into buildings in more ways. It would actually be good for combating camping too. Because yeah, like you said, I recall there being a very good camp spot in a state in the second story at the top of the stairs, and you would be looking out back toward that greenhouse, and you could just camp that
you're talking about?
On a state, yeah. Mm-hmm. You could camp that bitch with a claymore in the doorway and scavenger and just keep shooting out to the glass house and get insane kill streaks. But I don't recall that window being very high off the ground. And maybe now people will be able to actually push you in that window, so it's not as strong of a camping spot. Maybe they won't be able to, but that's just one like tiny example. There are going to be places that were really good for camping before that just won't be anymore. And that's a good thing, I think.
Yeah, that's
there's
true.
There's going to be more like accessibility, you know?
Yeah, also just it sounds like they don't want that in the game either. So kind of like that combined with everything else, faster pace. Yeah, sounds like that will all be good. But yeah, obviously, you know, they know, like what they were talking about with the walls. Yeah, it's like you shouldn't be able to just mantle any wall, because the way, the old maps were designed, when you really think about it, every single wall you would be able to mantle. Like think of like I think of Backlot, a COD 4 map, which then was remastered in MW19. Like that map, every single little wall on that map is the mantle height. So, you know, you can just, it totally changes the flow of everything when you can just jump over a wall instead of having to run around it. So
exactly. So yeah, you're exactly right. And again, like, when Infinity Ward remasters a map, they don't care. They don't even think about it. They're like, oh, these used to be barriers before when this map was designed. It was designed for these things to be barriers. We don't care. They're not barriers anymore, but it's the same map. It's like, well, is it the same map? Because I can move in places I can't move. I wasn't able to move in like a really dramatic way.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of not the same map, actually, even if you didn't change anything.
Yeah.
So in some cases, you actually have to change the map more from the original to keep it faithful, depending on if you want that barrier, that original barrier to still be a barrier. So yeah, we've talked about that though. But if it's done well, I think that's awesome. I would like to be able to go to some places in a map that I couldn't before, but I don't want just fucking free reign to just be just for because then there wouldn't be any 3-lane maps.
Yeah. You can't just have
absurd.
every building on favela. You can't just give people the ability to get on the roof, because then the map is entirely ruined, because there are just going to be people all over the roofs the whole time. So yeah.
Yeah. And again, that's what I think they mean by map metrics adjusted to fit modern gameplay.
Yeah.
They don't want that to happen, which is really good. So hopefully they can execute on that topic. But did anything else in that video stand out to you?
Yeah, last thing on the video, the things everyone's talking about, if you've seen the video, is the mantling. So it shows a little bit of gameplay on high rise. It shows the actual mantling itself. It is, I mean, so much faster than MW2. It is a crazy difference. I actually saw a little clip. Someone slowed down the mantling speed in MW3 gameplay that we saw from high rise. They slowed it down 50% and they lined it up with the current 100% mantling speed in MW2, and the MW3 mantling speed at 50% slowed down slow motion was still faster than MW2.
Wow.
So it's literally more than
twice
50.
as fast.
It is that much faster. It's crazy. There's like some weird little things with it, like your like camera does move all weird when you mantle. It probably won't end up mattering that much, or that could come down to like MW2
FOV.
right now has a FOV is a big one too. I didn't even think about that, but like MW2 right now has a setting for just like camera movement when it comes to doing certain things. That can probably just be turned down. There's a setting like right now where it's like 50% less, 75%, or like default
Yeah, I know
100.
what you're talking
so
about.
your player camera just moves around more in general. So that's probably all the settings that won't end up mattering. But yeah, the biggest thing everyone's talking about is the actual mantling speed. It is like you fucking fly over something, which is good because that's the issue right now in MW2. Like if you start, or in Warzone, if you start mantling something when someone's shooting at you, you're just dead. Like you're not going to have time to survive that because it's such a slow animation. This is like, even in multiplayer, you could be getting shot in your back and may very well have enough time to mantle over a wall that you're standing right in front of. You may have time to mantle over that and not even die doing it. That's how quick it is. So that's been the biggest thing everyone's talking about is the mantling speed. So a lot of people were pointing that out. Like somebody responded to that and they're like, thank you for making the movement and mantling a lot faster than Sledgehmmer Games even responded and said movement feels even better than it looks. So, and they were kind of making some hints at that too, like we've already heard. So that's all good and exciting.
I did see that Sledgehmmer tweet about movement feels even better than it looks. And that's a weird fucking thing to say. What does that mean? I'm not sure what that means.
That it's going to be
Maybe it
good,
doesn't mean
fast.
anything. Yeah, maybe I'm reading too much into it. But
I think it's that the videos they show, they're not going to show some dev slide cancel sliding into a double bunny hop mantling. Like they're just showing like real basics. So I think it kind of means like wait till you guys play it and feel how good it actually is, because we're not going to show off how to triple bunny hop in our dev blog because our devs don't know how to do it.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, one thing we saw a lot of like mantling. I don't know if we saw any sliding.
No.
But the mantle speed is insanely fast, which is really good. And I never saw the ledge hang delay thing either. So
No, yeah, you go right over it. So I don't even know.
Might be a setting thing or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
Yeah.
either way, it's way better than the mantling we have now. I'd be curious to see how it compares to the speed of MW19's mantle. Wonder if anyone's tested that.
It's got to be still way faster than MW19.
It's got to be faster though,
a lot
right?
faster still, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which I think is a good thing.
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing. So, and that will be carrying over to Warzone. That's one thing that's confirmed carrying over to Warzone.
Yeah.
It's going to be that.
That'll be great. How many times have you died trying to mantle?
Actually, numerous.
Everyone, yeah.
And it's infuriating. Yeah.
Is the fast mantle because of a gear or perk, you think? No way.
I doubt it.
No,
yeah, I doubt it.
That would be really scummy for them to show that off when it's tied to a perk. No, and I think they would actually make that clear. So no, I don't think that's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then
anyway.
Back to the blog post here. Now we can just look at the rest of these images we got here.
Yeah, so we got a couple more pictures. This next one is of Afghan. This
Yeah,
is
that's
the
Afghan, all right.
the downed plane.
See the Sledgehmmer, fire and smoke there.
The classic Sledgehmmer, fire and smoke.
Yeah.
That's my immediate thought. Is particularly look on the rightmost side of the screen.
Yeah.
That smoke is not easy to see through.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not that bad in game, but this screen, because most of the other maps don't look like this, but yeah, it looks like Afghan.
Looks like Afghan. Yeah, I don't have much to say about that. Going down, Quarry is the next one.
What did the dev call it in the video? Quarry? Carry? He called it something just incorrect.
Oh, really?
He worded it really weird. I'm surprised you didn't notice it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't notice it.
I don't know what he said, but it was just wrong.
It's pronounced Quarry.
That's Quarry.
That guy. But anyway, yeah, it looks like.
Oh, look at the background. Look at those mountains, dude. That's gorgeous.
Whoa.
Those big green mountains. Holy shit,
dude, those look like photorealistic.
That looks like I'm in like Colombia. Yeah, I love Colombia.
Well, you're in Brazil, I think, right? That's why that big Brazilian.
That's a Brazilian flag.
Yeah,
I just love Colombia.
Brazil and Colombia are right next to each other, I think.
Brazil, Colombia, Bolivia, Mexico. They're all the same. Yeah, they're not America, so they're all the same. They're other parts of the world.
Mexico is a little
Argentina.
Anyway, whatever. But yeah, it looks like Quarry. It's not a good map. I don't care. So whatever.
Not a great map.
On,
yeah.
It's fine, I think, but I haven't played it in so long. My opinion is subject to change. Next is Scrapyard. Scrapyard looks a little dark. It's like at dusk.
Yeah, it's like at dusk, isn't it? Yeah. Again, we see the beautiful mountains in the background.
Yeah.
Is this the new map?
Gorgeous mountains.
The new Warzone map?
I am seeing a bird in the top right, which I don't love.
Oh, I'm going to have to snap on those birds like I do in Tarkov. Yeah. And Warzone.
But yeah, it looks like Scrapyard, all right.
That's Scrapyard, yeah.
We can see some more Sledgehmmer fire on the right side.
Let's see. Yeah, no, their words don't matter. Okay, here's the one of Favela. So I think this is what they're talking about detail. Like, look at all the graffiti
and shit. Oh my god, yeah.
Looks really cool, and like one of those...
my frames just dipped 30.
Oh, what is that thing called up there? Is that Christ the Redeemer? What is that thing up on that hill there?
Oh, it is Christ the Redeemer, I think.
Christ the Redeemer. Dude, that would be crazy to see in person, by the way.
Yeah,
that would be really neat to see.
It's fucking huge. Yeah.
It's big, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really big in real life. It looks like a set piece from Game of Thrones. That's how big it is. I swear to God. It's like...
Yeah.
I thought it was big, and then I saw, like, I don't know if it was a TikTok or something, but I was like, it was like a helicopter going over it, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't know it was that big. It's like actually insane how big it is.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It's large.
Statue. Yeah.
Yeah, so anyways, that's cool. Nice looking cars.
So you're right. This is what they mean by the most detailed thing yet. There's a ton of colors. There's graffiti.
I see at least 3 or 4 colors, yeah.
There's like leaves and trash and shit.
It's a favela. Cars are too nice for being where the map takes place. A little too nice.
Yeah, the cars are a little nice, huh?
We need some missing hubcaps or something.
We do have a missing hood on the left side of the street there.
That's actually, I think, a blown up car. Yeah. I'm not even sure that's just a missing hood. I think that car is
there might be some other problems with it too. I don't know if it runs, but yeah.
Nice palm tree right there.
Beautiful palm trees, more birds. You can see on like up the top right, the other little houses in the favela.
Yeah.
Kind of in the fog, you know. But we are seeing fog. Don't love that. And there's also fog on the rooftop in the upper left here.
I think that's all like the edge of the map, it looks like. That looks like far
so.
away anyways, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's what it looks like, and I hope so. But it does look good. I am wondering, let's say I'm behind this yellow car on our side, and there's like some guy behind the blown out car. Or no, there's some guy behind like the white Jeep that's farther back on the road. Is there too much visual clutter where I like might miss that guy?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. There's almost so much detail on the walls, you kind of do get lost. I was going to say that, like with the graffiti, the different colors, yeah. But, you know, this game, I think, is going to have name tags again, too.
I certainly hope it does.
Yeah. So that will hopefully help with those issues some. Yeah, it looks pretty.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks great,
let's see what they say. One example is vehicles lining the streets in various locations throughout the map. Oh, these are different models compared to 2009. As you can explore these newly modernized maps, you'll notice other areas have received touches that both improve gameplay and enhance scenic detail and visibility. Well, it's good, again, that they say it enhances visibility.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, the old dirt and grass soccer pitch is now paved over with blue acrylic-coated blacktop. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So anyway, if we scroll down, we have another picture of the favela here.
Oh, yeah.
Again, pretty picture.
This is reminding me
looks
of
detailed.
What was the El Chapo documentary? Not the documentary. The series.
Narcos?
The El Chapo. Fuck, great. God damn it, Narcos was good.
Yeah, Narcos
Reminded me
was
of Narcos,
excellent.
yeah. God damn it, that was a good show, man.
It was.
Derail,
Only show
dog
I'd
shit,
watch with
trash
subtitles.
map. Snow, I always like snow in maps, though.
But
I'll say
anyway,
that. I do enjoy
Derail.
good snow.
Yeah. I liked Derail, but I was also 10, so I don't know if I'd like it these days. This is a terrible spot on the map to have a screenshot of, by the way. I don't even recognize this area of Derail.
Because
I
of
don't know where this
technological advancements in COD's animation and movement techniques over the past 14 years, operators can tactical sprint and leap between rooftops, mantle, and navigate alleyways with tack stance, giving players more confidence during these.
Oh, I forgot about that tax stance shit.
Yeah, so did I.
Anyway, Derail looks,
sucks.
I don't know, fine. One thing I will say about Derail, there is falling snow, which again...
yeah, you're right.
I hope there's nameplates, because that is definitely going to obstruct visibility, for sure. Like, the visibility will be worse on Derail than it will be on Afghan, for example, because of the snow.
We have map voting, so we'll never play Derail. It doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah,
I'll never once played an MW3.
But I am a little worried about this. Like, even if you look at, like, the trees, like, on the right side of the screen, they're already, like, behind some fog and shit.
Yeah.
And, like, snow. They get kind of, like, lost in that. So maybe they're doing that to counter, like, the super long lines of sight that are on this map, which actually could be a smart way to balance snipers or DMRs a little bit for multiplayer. I don't really know what they're doing, but there is falling snow, so that'll obstruct vision a little bit.
Each falling,
which could be okay, or it could be really bad. We don't know yet.
Each falling snowflake lowers your frames by 3 for sure. Yeah. So, yeah, I think nameplates are coming back.
Yeah. And if they are, then it's probably not a big deal. So next is Rundown. The next little map here.
Beautiful little cantina.
I love this map. I thought Rundown was so good. I used to play it a lot. And I enjoyed it a lot as well. I will say though, I'm not going to like it as much in this game, because when I think back on Rundown, it had a lot of buildings and a lot of little camp spots. And now they're going to be even more, since you can get on some of the roofs and shit too. I don't think Rundown is going to play well in a modern game, but it was fun at the time. I think for like Hardpoint though, it'll be fine probably, but I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, the screenshot looks good. Again, a lot of color, but also, man, look on like the left side of the screen. Look at that car, the leftmost car.
Mm-hmm.
There's like some dust and like opacity a little bit.
Yeah, Vanguard had that on all the maps too, didn't it?
Like a haze.
Kind of like
everywhere.
A little haze, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully it just looks worse in screenshots than actual gameplay. I don't know. I'm not worried about it until we see COD Next. I'll be able to tell you 2 minutes into COD Next multiplayer gameplay was going to be an issue.
Yeah. So we'll see, but yeah, good looking
map
screenshot.
Looks pretty again. I'll be hanging out
again,
at that
not
cantina.
The location on this map I would have chosen, but whatever. Oh my God. Next is the estate.
That's got some
Gorgeous.
high wind warning.
Very high winds. I wonder if that's going to be audible wind, by the way. That wouldn't be great. Yeah, these leaves are fucking flying, dude.
Them things are flying.
They can't, the frame rate of the camera can't even capture a still image of a leaf.
Wow, yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Oh no. The lake behind the boathouse is now accessible for wet works. Operators can now maneuver in and under the water and can swim out to a platform overlooking the area. There's also a greater military presence on the estate grounds than there was before. While the original lodge offered a luxurious getaway, this one features intel posted on the wall and a tank sitting on the main road outside. First of all, you designed the game. You should know that's not a tank at all. But yeah, that's cool. So yeah, someone had said that when we were talking about the perks, I think. Someone was like, you guys haven't mentioned how there's supposedly like some swimming perk that makes you swim faster and quieter, but none of these old maps have water. There we go. I guess they're adding water. So they're not staying true to the original design. So that was, in fact, a big lie. Yeah. Every map will have water in it now. No, not everyone. But okay. So Estate was already a dog shit map, and they just made it worse. So that's fine. I don't care. I won't play it.
Yeah, the water isn't going to be a super relevant part of Estate. I can't even recall. I think it's like, by that greenhouse. Yeah. But yeah, okay. I'm starting to notice in every fucking screenshot, what's the common theme? There's shit in the air. Leaves, dust, or snow. There's just stuff in the air. We don't need falling leaves on Estate. I don't like that at all. So there better goddamn be nameplates. Looks beautiful though. Looks gorgeous. But yeah, not much else to say about it. Yeah, water's coming back. Not excited about that. But anyways, moving on next. Got more shit falling out of the sky on Skid Row this time. Skid Row is a fucking... It was really fun in MW2 to like run around and knife in the fucking building or whatever. I don't think it's going to be very fun to play as a 31-year-old. But, you know, it's Skid Row. And yeah, there's a fire in some building, so there are just embers floating around in the sky.
Oh, I think the fire's right here in the bottom left corner. It's like a trash pile, maybe. There are the little flames right there. Again, the Sledgehmmer classic, the flames.
Yeah, they love
fire.
Setting shit on fire. Yeah, for sure. They're arsonists.
Oh,
no arsonists.
And the bookshop is now a movie store. Oh, the ceiling's been repaired. That's good.
Yep.
Further lighting improvements to areas like the hallway and tunnel ensure that operators are clearly visible against the environment. Cool. Again, I like that they say that.
I like that they keep reiterating that, like you said. Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Not much to say on Skid Row. It'll probably play poorly.
Look at Rust. Holy shit.
Oh my God.
That's a category 5.
Yeah, Rust is in the middle of a sandstorm. I mean, it looks terrible. Doesn't look fun to play in.
Rust is
There's also fire just billowing out of the top for no reason. You see that?
It looks cool, man.
You see that fucking flamethrower pointed at the sky for no reason? Just to ruin your frames. Oh, did you think it was going to perform well? I'm going to put fire randomly. That doesn't change anything, just to ruin your frames. Yeah.
Remember that open pipe jutting out in a corner that many a camper took roost in? I fucking hated that I just read that. It's been replaced by a small building keeping the fight out in the open. I can't think of what corner that would be. I mean, every corner has pipes. No, not every corner. 2 of the corners have pipes.
Yeah, I don't know what they're talking about either. Rust was never a good map, though. Hot take.
Oh, Rust
was never a good map.
Yeah. This was our least favorite MW19 map, one of them. It was so bad in that game. So bad. Such bad visibility.
Yeah, it wasn't great. Wasn't great. And the visibility here is not going to be better. So as Tanner said, there is a category 5 sandstorm running through here. Just dust and smoke everywhere. Actually not smoke. I don't know what it is, but it's really bad. So yeah, Rust won't be a good map. It never was though. Next is High Rise. Okay. This looks fine. I wasn't the biggest fan of High Rise originally. It was okay. And I think it's going to be okay here as well. There are some smokestacks, but they are pretty fucking light. Those don't seem to be obstructive of vision at all, really. There is a very faint, like, Sledgehmmer haze all over the map, but it's very minimal here, I would say. The visibility actually looks like it'll be pretty good on High Rise. And again, this is taking place, like, at dusk, it looks like. Or dawn, I guess, but...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, they changed something. Did they say it in the video? They changed something with the positioning of the helicopter. I think they had mentioned that in a little video. Like they turned it or something, so it's like, I don't know, it's facing a different direction, basically.
Interesting note on that. I'm seeing some red barrels next to the helicopter that look like campaign barrels that are placed to blow up to kill NPCs.
Yeah, I wonder if you can blow those up.
I feel like you probably can.
Yeah, they're bright red and make you think that, huh?
Yeah, they do make you think that. I don't know if those were in the original game, exploding barrels, but that shit's annoying and shouldn't be in a game. And I also wonder if that would make the chopper explode, or if the chopper is just like a set piece.
I don't think so. Yeah, I bet that's just a set piece.
Yeah, probably, right? But either way, if those are exploding barrels, I hope those aren't common at all, because I think it's dumb. Because then what are you going to do? You're going to load into the map and just shoot the barrels right away so you don't die to it. If you plan on going over there, like, it's just a stupid waste of time. But anyway, whatever. There you go. Next one is Karachi. This was a solid map. And it looks... This is the first map where there's nothing in the sky but oxygen, it looks like. Again, a slight Sledgehmmer haze everywhere. Looks kind of boring, actually. Not much going on in this screenshot.
I don't know. It's fine. Looks like a map. Yeah, it's got that ground haze. It's got that ground fog, like you see in Vandal sometimes, where they just put fog on the ground.
Not as strong as that, but yes.
Yeah.
Same type of deal. Yeah. So anyway, Krashi's a great map. There's a picture of it. Okay. And then some beta dates here. Don't care.
And then here's another important thing they said. Expect the flow of free post-launch content, including core 6v6 maps and additional multiplayer content to continue after launch. As previously stated, we'll have over 12 all-new core 6v6 maps in our season, with 3 all-new 6v6 maps hitting in Season 1 and 3 6s maps hitting in Season 2. So the fact they're saying all new, I'm assuming that means not even like Shipment, DOS House, none of those.
I think they'll be
back,
all
right?
original, yeah.
Which I like. I hope we don't get some dumb, small bullshit weapon grinding map back. I think that just ruins it. That makes it.
Yeah,
really
I think Rust is going to be that map this year. I think they'll probably have a bunch of Rust 24/7 lobbies. Which,
true.
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of Shipment. Yeah, that's good. I would be surprised if they did any remasters for those first 2 seasons. I think getting to play these up until, because Season 1's going to happen pretty soon after launch, like a month after launch.
Yeah, it's December 12th or something. I think it's already been leaked.
So like, I won't even be sick of the 16 maps by that time. So getting new ones by then would be good. I expect in like Season 3 and beyond, the remastered maps we will see, because we will see more than just the original 16 remasters, by the way. I think they're going to remaster a bunch of MW3 maps. I think that's going to be like where they what they lean on the most. For example, here, you guys can clip me now and link me later. I would be willing to bet the first map that gets remastered, besides the original 16, is going to be, what was it called from MW3? The map that that Vondel kind of looked like from screenshots. Oh, god damn it. Hold on. MW3 maps.
I wonder if we're getting any MW3 maps remastered.
I think we will eventually.
You think? I would almost think that would just be iDub or Sledgehammer's next game in a few years, would just kind of be the same thing.
I bet you we get Resistance as the first remastered MW3 map. Yeah, you could be right about that too, but if that's not going to be the case, I think they're going to rely very heavily on MW3's map pool.
Yeah, I'm just also not sure they would.
Something.
Well, they already are. They're remastering 16 maps. We're just getting it all
beyond that,
launch.
They're definitely going to remaster maps.
Yeah, maybe a couple. I can't find them doing too many though, because 16 is already a ton. 16
is a lot. Yeah, but anyway, whatever. We'll see.
Didn't you guys call this all being remastered maps like a year ago? Remember Tanner saying if no remaster maps come out during MW2, then it'll be in the next game. Yeah, that was because that's what leaks were talking about. There had been leaks that started coming out early in MW2 that said things like in 23 instead of the main title. That's what started that whole thing. Instead of a full game, we're getting an expansion where we're going to get a bunch of remastered maps. So I think at some point we had said, like, yeah, if we don't see remastered maps by Season 2 of MW2, surely not by Season 3, then it's for sure coming in a map pack or something, and that's what MW3 ended up being, was a full release title technically, but it's just all the remastered maps, yeah.
I think Tanner was the first one to float that, yeah. And
yeah, but it was all based on, like, leaks. I didn't just come up with that. It's because that started getting leaked.
Yeah, so...
But yeah, cool.
Anyway.
I think that's pretty much it for the blog post. Again,
another couple screenshots, I guess.
Oh, do we? Oh, yeah, look at that. Why did they put these down here?
So another one of Favela. I don't remember this area of the map at all, but it looks fine. I don't know. Not much else to say.
I'm trying to see if they say... Okay, I was wondering if they were saying what maps we were getting in the beta, if that's why they were showing these.
We got a pre-order soon. And then another little screenshot here. Okay,
Shotgun.
This next screenshot of this guy shooting this gun. Lot of muzzle flash there and sparks.
That's also an automatic shotgun.
It appears to be. Yeah, you can see that shell getting ejected. That's a lot of muzzle flash. You can see it's clearly above the iron sights of the gun. So,
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see.
I wonder if they would launch the game again like that, like they did in Vanguard, because they ended up removing all of that when people were like, "What are we doing? You can't see anything you're shooting."
I'm not too worried about it because they will.
They'll
just
actually listen, like, to little things like that, because they did in the last beta. Just like a few minor things that actually made a surprisingly big difference. They did change. Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's like iDub though, like, oh, this screen shake is unbearable, they just will ignore it. Yeah.
Yeah, Infinity Ward doesn't develop, so they wouldn't ever change it. So yeah. And then a screenshot of Invasion here. Again, some classic Sledgehmmer fire, a lot of smoke. That smoke is very impossible to see through. Actually.
Why do they love fire so much?
Yeah, it's weird.
I'm trying to think of maps.
Loves fire over there.
I'm trying to think of maps we have right now in MW2. Are there, like, even fire on any of the maps like that? Like, they have a burning car or a burning building, at least one in every single map they make.
I know. Yeah, I know.
It's like their classic.
Certainly not
thing.
This many. Yeah. The Sledgehmmer signature is to just set something on fire. So anyway, I don't know. Besides that, it looks fine, I guess.
Maps look pretty.
Looking again, but
they all look pretty.
They all look pretty, and then that's it. So yeah, the most important thing from that whole blog post was really just the video and what they said in the video. And we already went over all those points. I like that they're going to, again, make certain areas accessible that used to be inaccessible, but not all of them. I think that's awesome. And I'm very pleased to hear that they are, on at least 3 separate occasions we went over today, reiterating we are going to make the visibility better than it originally was. Like 3 times separately that I can count, they said that explicitly. So they're at least paying attention to that. So that's really good. Yeah, this is all I could hope for with respect to remastered maps. It looks... They're saying the right things.
They're saying the right things, again, as we've been saying they've been saying the right things. It's just they have to deliver on what they say,
Exactly.
So, cool.
Yeah.
And then, so moving on here, some other things. A rumor, we talked about this a little bit on the scope because the info just gone live recently, but Charlie Intel tweeted out, there's a rumor going around, COD 2025 is set to follow a similar format to that of MW3. COD 25 will reportedly be a follow-up continuation of Treyarch's Call of Duty 2024 and will reportedly include Black Ops 2 maps remastered. So, yeah, I mean, it sounds pretty believable at this point. I think on the scope, I'd kind of just said, this sounds like their new way of getting around the releasing a brand new title every year. Instead, they for sure spend less development time remastering the game, making it feel very similar to the game, just making small improvements and then releasing a brand new game. It gets around that, like, gap people have talked about where they need more time to develop games, don't release a game every year, blah, blah. So this kind of sounds like them giving the dev studios the ability to do that.
Yeah,
but, yeah. I mean,
exactly.
a Treyarch title that already got a full development cycle releasing in 24 should already be really good. And on top of that now, if they get a second year with all new maps, you know, just minor changes to the game, I'm sure, movement and stuff like that, well, that would be 2 banger games back to back probably. So as we've been saying for a while now, we're like, I've gotten really excited for MW3 now after knowing it's all remastered maps, the movement they're talking about. I'm excited to see the gameplay. But COD 2024, I think, is really one of the big ones to look forward to, because Treyarch getting full development time for the first time in their last 2 titles is actually huge.
It's going to be weird because COD 2025, if we're following the same formula we have been, is going to be Infinity Ward's game, right?
Well,
because 23 is Sledgehmmer, 24 is Treyarch, 25 it goes back to iDub, right?
yeah, but it's kind of gotten weird because I mean 22 was iDub. 23 is technically Sledgehmmer, but it's also iDub helping. So 24 will be Treyarch, and then 25 will probably be Treyarch and like also Sledgehmmer or Raven helping them. And then probably 26.
You think Treyarch is going to be the main dev back to back?
Maybe it's possible. If it's like a Black Ops game, I don't see how else anyone else can develop it. Their games feel entirely different.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is it seems weird that either it's one of 2 things, really. Either Treyarch is going to be forced to be the main dev on 24 and 25, which is not good, or Infinity Ward is going to be remastering Treyarch's maps. So all of that, neither of which sounds very believable to me. So one thing I pointed out on the scope is
get some water.
Charlie Intel did not provide a source for this rumor. We were not able to, we didn't look too deeply into it because we were just guesting on their show, and we still haven't now, but the source of this rumor is not cited on Charlie Intel's tweets. And every time there's a leak from like a leaker, Charlie Intel credits them. They say via whoever the fuck. They did not do that here. So I think this is actually just a rumor that like, no, it's not originating from a known leaker or anything like that. I put very little stock in this leak. I don't believe it that much. I could believe they're going to have a remaster of a bunch of old maps again, but a remaster of BO2 maps specifically, if iDub's the main dev team, that sounds unbelievable to me. Like literally, I don't believe it. I don't know what the deal is going to be here, but they haven't changed their main dev cycle in a very long time. So maybe that's happening and then that would explain this more. But I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. And I'm not sure what to think. But I would not put too much stock in this rumor yet. And I also don't care that much yet. COD 2025 is so far away. Like we don't even have 23 yet. So let's fucking settle down is kind of where I'm at. But anyway.
There is a
moving
source.
on. What?
There is a source, actually. I just opened the article while I was going to the bathroom and listening to you. It's El Baberto, who's the guy that's leaked everything about MW3. And everyone believes him. Yeah, it is. He did leak it. They just didn't. Charlie's just too good of friends now with random Twitter accounts, so he just, he doesn't give them credit in the actual tweet. He just puts it in the article, so you have to read through that so they get clicks. But, yeah, so what did he say exactly? What did Bob Network say? This is very likely to change in the next 2 years, but COD 25 seems to be like MW3, but for Treyarch's 24 title featuring BO2 multiplayer map remasters. Yeah, he didn't say anything else. Trying to see if he responded to anyone. Yeah, no, that's all he said. So the fact that Bob Network said it, he's like the most prominent, most believable leaker currently that's like actually leaking shit all the time. So it's probably true, actually.
But again, like you said, that's 2 years from now. It actually just doesn't matter. I mean, MW3 was rumored to be a map pack up until 4 months ago, basically. So things really do change, and they're probably just spitballing ideas at this point. So, yeah, moving on here. So that's pretty much it for MW3 talk. Just kind of wanted to touch on some of the World Series of Warzone stuff going on. So again, World Series of Warzone is this Saturday, September 16th. It starts real early in the morning. It'll be live streamed somewhere. Twitch, YouTube, I have no idea. On the COD channel somewhere. But yeah, so the biggest thing, we've talked a lot about the Signal 50, right? We talked a lot about it. I said, I'm on record, and I still believe the Signal 50 should absolutely not be restricted in ranked play. The players that can take advantage of it and hitting 2 headshots back to back and getting downs, they're the best players in the world, the top 300 players in the world. No one can do that in ranked aside from people in the top 250. That's just not a common thing. So they keep complaining about it. Get the Signal 50 out of ranked. Raz and I have said numerous times, no, it's balanced. It's perfectly balanced. All of you guys used to run one-shot snipers. Now this sniper requires 2 headshots, and you're still complaining about it. So what I said a long time ago is like, why do the players not just set the rules for the tournament? Why do they not get any input? And so, yeah. So they've been pushing for a while now. The players have been like, dude, World Series of Warzone is going to be boring to watch. It's going to be boring to play when all 3 players are going to have a Signal just sitting in buildings taking shots. It's not going to be exciting whatsoever. So they've been pushing for this for a long time. So here's what they said. A GB Adam, who is Game Battles, I guess. Because it's like, this is COD's tournament, but they hire some company to run the tournament for them, basically. So they said in Discord, hey, everyone, there will be no additional restrictions before the grand final in a few days. So they just posted this a couple days ago. Settings will retain parity with in-game ranked settings. We hear your concerns and have spent time discussing it internally. However, to maintain a competitive integrity with only a few days before the event, we will not be introducing a major meta change. So it's funny because they say, only a few days before the event, hey, everyone competing have been complaining about this since weekend 1 of the qualifiers.
Exactly.
So this is their little scapegoat. They're like, oh, well, we don't have enough time. Now it'd be fucked up if we change it. That's their excuse they're going to run with. Even though all of these players have been very outspoken for literally the last 2 months, maybe. Exactly. How long has it been going? Maybe going back 3 months. So that's just their excuse. This will continue to be a process we look to refine for future events and appreciate your feedback. So, yeah. So, I mean, I'm serious. It's got to be what seems like 90+% of the competitors want this restricted. I think the only people that are fine with the Signal meta are the K-BAM players. People like Breadman that really rely on it, and that's where K-BAM can outshine controllers is sniping. I think there are a few players like him that don't want it. He actually tweeted out like a little troll bait post that was like, people complaining about the Signal not being restricted. Meanwhile, you guys have literal aimbot or something like that, and he made a bunch of people mad. That was funny.
Good impression farm.
Great impression farm, yeah. So, yeah. So COD's just like, we don't have enough time. It's a few days before the event. But yeah, they've all been complaining about it for 2 months. So I think it's pretty fucked they didn't listen to what the players want. If the overwhelming majority wants that, it needs to be restricted. I think it's really that simple. But, you know, like I said, this is probably the incorrect build of Warzone anyway, so you can probably also run launchers. Launchers are probably all over the ground loot, all of it. So this is probably pre-Akimbo pistol nerf, so you can probably run X13 autos that kill in 400 milliseconds because custom matches are 4 months behind on updates to the game. So cool.
Yeah. This got me wondering, because they do this in the CDL. The official CDL rules are not the same, are less restrictive than the rules the CDL is actually played on, because they gentleman's agreement out a bunch of things. So, like, in addition to the CDL's official restrictions, all the teams in the league will agree to not use whatever, this gun. Even though it's technically allowed in the rules, they all agree to adhere to, like, not using this cheesy gun or whatever. I wonder why that isn't talked about for World Series of Warzone. If they really all don't want the Signal, why don't they just GA it? But maybe it's because it wouldn't work. And some people would be like, nope, fuck you. I don't agree. I'm using a signal. I guess that must be it.
Yeah,
right?
I think the difference is too, like CDL, they can GA things because like, I mean, the total amount of players in the CDL in total is still way less than what the amount of players playing in this one LAN final. Like so it's kind of, it's easier to restrict something. There are 50 people, basically. I don't know how many players are actually in CDL. I don't know how many teams there are. But it's 100% less than 100 starters. I know that. So
yeah, that's probably
far less than that. So it's probably hard to do that. CDL also has like, it's a lot more organized, I think, internally. So it's like they have coaches that talk to other coaches, like org owners that talk to other orgs to talk about restricting certain things. This would just be like, hey guys, this is just some guy tweeting out, hey guys, do you want to restrict it? And then some guy would be like, no, I'm not fucking doing that. Also, Warzone has ground loot, so you can just pick up a signal on ground loot. So there's too many things.
Too.
It's just too hard to GA when it comes to Warzone, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. But I don't feel very strongly about this. You kind of said everything I would have said.
Yeah, so then moving on here, Tommy, one of the best Warzone players in the world. He says, if you think customs are tough to watch right now, World Series of Warzone will only be worse with so much on the line. Very little movement, grab loadout, post up on a roof, cracking plates across the map until one team runs out of plates. Understandable, some players and teams enjoy this, but it's just not fun. Yeah, so these are the things we're looking forward to in the World Series of Warzone, is seeing how boring it is. Yeah, that's what we're really looking forward to. Like, oh my God, that was fucking miserable to watch, you know? That's what we're really looking for here.
This is one thing I was going to say about the signal, actually, also. People are saying, like, oh, it's going to make people camp and play super ratty if the signal isn't banned. And that's why they're mad that it's not banned. People are going to play equally ratty and campy whether the signal is in the game or not. That argument does not stand up to scrutiny at all. It's the fucking World Series of Warzone. People are going to play as ratty as fucking possible, regardless of what weapons are allowed or not allowed. So saying like, oh, there's going to be more people camping because the signal is just not true.
Yeah, they're all going to be in buildings either way. You're right.
Exactly. Yeah. So like, if you don't want the signal for other reasons besides that, fine. Agree to disagree. But if your only reason is because it's going to make it more campy, you're just out of your mind. It's the World Series of Warzone. People are going to camp anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, I just thought I would say that.
Yeah,
it's going to be campy as fuck for sure.
Yeah. And then moving on, Tommy points out some other things. Other issues that haven't even been addressed or mentioned. Loadout icons disappearing if a teammate's in Gulag. Icons on the radar not showing teammates. Loadout spawning in the Gulag and loot double or triple dropping on dead bodies. That's a funny one, by the way. When you just spawn into the Gulag and there's someone's custom guns in front of you on the ground and plates. That one's pretty interesting. Again, that has been a bug for months. And so he says there's more I'm missing too, but these are just the obvious ones that happen every single game currently. So yeah, these are the things we say. There are bugs that happen literally every match of Warzone and have been for months and they haven't been fixed. So when people say, oh, all you guys do is bitch and complain, when you play the game every day and see the same bug in and out of every match 100% of the time, how do you not complain about that? Are you just that delusional where you you're not capable of seeing these issues that are in the game? Do you not notice them? How do you not complain about them? Because they should have been fixed months ago. So sorry that your standards are so dog shit and low. That pisses me off. But anyways, so it's like, Tommy's a great example. He plays the game 12 hours a day and he's saying these happen every single match, and that's what we keep saying. There are bugs that happen 100% of your matches in Warzone that haven't been fixed.
Yep.
And then someone else also pointed out, revive pistol still insta-killing. Tommy said, huge shout. Yep, that hasn't... How's that not been fixed in months is beyond me. Yeah, I've died. I was talking about that 3 months ago. You just randomly get full killed in Warzone. It turned out... I think it was actually Cam Wilkes at some point. He said in Discord, he's like, did you happen to have a revive pistol? I'm like, I think I did. He's like, yeah, people think that's the thing insta-killing. Months, and they haven't fixed that. How, man? It's so crazy. Every single game. So why would someone even pick up a self-revive pistol in the World Series of Warzone? They're just going to die if they do. It's just part of the game is unusable because it'll get you killed, insta-killed in $1 million tournament. They're just incompetent embezzlers.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah. It's just crazy.
They should be so ashamed of themselves.
It's good to see big Twitter accounts bringing this shit up. I just love to see it. Yeah, and none of it got fixed before the biggest tournament of the year.
No, we didn't even get a fucking patch this week. Not
Yeah.
Wednesday, not Thursday. They didn't even put out some patch acting like they care to be like, hey, World Series of Warzone is this week. We're working on fixing some of these bugs. We fixed them. We didn't change anything else. No weapon balancing, but we fixed these bugs. No. Ted Timmons has been in fucking London for 3 weeks probably eating fish and chips already. They've logged off. They don't do anything.
They've logged off is the way to put it. Yeah, for sure. So
They've been AFK for months, yeah.
So we'll see how many game-breaking bugs just squash people's dreams this weekend, and we will be talking about it on Saturday. So yeah, just a reminder there, Saturday we're going to cover the World Series Warzone. We will have a lot more to say, literally no matter what happens on that topic. So yeah, be here for that. We'll start at our normal time, most likely. Patreon.com/thedropshot as well. If you want some bonus eps, we have not started on those yet, but we will very soon. As well as early access and ad-free listening for your little ears. Follow us on Twitter at the Dropshot Pod. Go to our website, thedropshot.com. Find links to everything, the Twitter, the Discord, all that shit. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We will see you guys Saturday. Stay humble.
Stay humble.